Hello.
Hello.
We should probably explain.
No.
Okay. We have been gone for a while. You want
Ha-
to tell them why?
have we?
It's been like 3 weeks or something.
It's been like... Yes.
Basically, we got busy and.
Go on. Continue.
Are you gonna ASMR an Oreo?
No. Why are you gonna ruin the fun?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyways, back to what she was saying.
Anyway, what happened was we got very busy, and there was a time where Jesus couldn't really come over to help me record a podcast, and I didn't really want to do it myself, because I'm awkward. What?
Sorry. This is the Double and Sparkle Show.
I'm Sparkles.
Even though this is not called Double the Sparkle Show.
It's the Double the Sparkles podcast.
Yeah.
You're Double, and I'm Sparkles.
Yeah, she's Sparkles and I'm Double. Maybe.
Anyway, I thought I would give a little update on what's going on, and then I'll get into what I wanted to talk about today.
Okay. So, go ahead.
What have we been getting into?
You're the one who said it.
Oh. Okay, basically we've been trying to find jobs, and that's sort of the reason why we kind of left a little bit, but also I was at the tail end of school, I was stressing out, and I didn't really want to deal with the podcast for now, but now I'm back. I don't think you need that, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But what have you been doing?
I mean, you just said it. We've been looking for jobs.
Yeah, I should get closer.
Or just speak louder.
Okay. Anyway, is there anything else you want to tell our lovely listeners?
Of one person, but probably, maybe not even that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't really been doing much. I haven't been able to stream really because it just hasn't been anything to stream. Yep.
Okay. You don't really know what I have planned for today.
No, never do.
Good. Basically, you know how at the beginning of the podcast we said no political things, no anything, but I said we can wave a white flag if you want to talk about something that we're passionate about.
Well, I don't see a white flag here.
I can make one.
That's cotton.
I'm
Okay.
waving stuffing in the air to act like a white flag. Anyway.
So on the way here, we actually were talking a bit about politics, and as a thing that we normally don't do, this is a very big thing apparently for Rachel. So
Yeah.
do you want to go into a little bit what we were talking about, or do you want to?
Actually, it kind of goes away from that. It's like something that's happening in the news lately. Have you heard about Trump's supposedly racist tweets? Have you heard about Trump's supposedly racist tweets?
I do not follow Trump, so I would not.
Basically, I don't know how to explain it. I saw it in Philip DeFranco, and I'll link his videos down below in case I missed anything. But basically, 4 congresswomen, they're all women of color. They're all Democrats, so Trump obviously doesn't like them.
Oh, that's a given. As soon as you say Democrat, he's like,
yeah, exactly, and they're all U.S. citizens, all of them, except for one member. She was an immigrant, but she became a citizen when she was 16, supposedly.
I want to express one
Yes.
thing
Yes.
when it comes to politics, and people hear the word immigrant and they instantly go, well, they can't be part of the government. Why would they be part of the government? It is stated in actual law that you have to have been a resident of the country for over 16 years, I believe. I could be wrong.
We're back. We're doing our research and actually looking at the tweets.
Are we, though?
You're looking at an article.
Yeah.
Does it have the actual tweets on there?
Now, a big thing I would like to say is when doing research, do not read news outlets and other websites that have a very big bias whether it's for your part or for the opposing part. Don't take it as fact. Never do this because that is not how that should work. You read it for the information, you don't read it to take a stand. Now, for what this is going on is everybody knows how Trump is. If you don't, you're usually called blind. You know Trump is a little bit of a bigot. He is racist. If you deny it, then obviously you don't see what we see. And I feel like we need to show you exactly what we see. Not force it on you, but show you where you're wrong. Or you could be right and maybe we're biased. But when it comes to me, I'm very open minded. And if I'm a person who's open minded can also see where someone has a big flaw in them, then it should be obvious to everybody.
Okay, while he's looking for it, I remember the basic of it was like he basically tweeted to these congresswomen like, go back to your country and
Uh,
and try and fix the corrupt government where you are.
so here's the tweet. So interesting to see progressive Democratic congresswomen who originally came from countries whose governments are a complete and total catastrophe, the worst, most corrupt, and inept anywhere in the world, if they even have a functioning government at all.
In parentheses.
Now, loudly.
It continues
And
viciously.
viciously tell the people of the United States, the greatest and the most powerful nation on earth, how our government is to be run. Why would they go? Why don't they go back and help fix the total broken and crime infested places from which they came? Then come back and show us how it is done. These places need your help badly. You can't leave fast enough. I'm sure that Pelosi
Pelosi.
Pelosi would be very happy to quickly work out free travel arrangements.
That's it.
Okay, let's take a moment and actually talk about that. Let's actually talk about what the statement he is talking about means. And if you're a person of Democratic or Republican sightings, please don't let that show. This is all coming from a person who is neither Democratic or Republican. And this is a very important thing to say because it takes a lot to get through someone's head who doesn't understand this. This is utmost disrespectful and a horrible thing to say to people who have dedicated their lives coming from a country which you call corrupt, a country that, if it is said corrupt, would kill them the moment they even stepped back in there. To tell them to go back there and fix their government when they left for a reason. It's not okay. It will never be okay to tell someone who originally came to the United States to better themselves so that they may one day make their lives better for them and their own people. To tell them to leave and go better themselves somewhere else because you don't like how they are doing things is utmost disrespectful. And in fact, that would be the equivalent of them telling Trump that he needs to go back to Europe where his family originated. Actually, did he even originate from Europe? I'm pretty sure his wife originated and is an immigrant from Russia. If he wants to say that, then he can send his kids to Russia. He can send his wife back to Russia where she came from, and he can send himself back to Europe where his family probably originates. It's not okay to tell someone to go back to the country that they came from when they are now citizens of said country. They are American people. They have dedicated their lives to America to make it better and to make it as wholesome as it can. You are the exact reason why they are here to change America's view. Because this is not a good thing. This does not make you the good person. This makes you the exact reason why we don't want this kind of government talking. This is why we don't want you on Twitter. You don't know how to control your own vocal ranges, okay? You are the president. You are a person who can reach further than most people can in all their lives. And you're gonna do this. You're gonna make a mistake that can and probably will have very bad consequences.
I like to pop in for a second. Did you know that after this tweet, his approval rating for Republicans went up?
People, I don't care what you think is right. I don't care what you think is what America needs to be. But this is not something that you need to be showing your kids. This is not the way a person needs to be acting.
Okay. The salt is coming out.
You can't just act like this is okay. You cannot sit there and pretend like this is a good thing. As if you are hurting people on a new level makes you a better person. I don't care if you think that this is a win in your book, because it's not. This is exactly how you go down a corrupt avenue. This is exactly how people lose their lives, their livelihoods, their actual lives. If we were back in the time that you thought was so great, you would be hanged. You would be shot. You would be killed. And you need that fear in your life. You are so comfy in your little offices, feeling like nobody can touch you because Big President Orange Cheese Puff is right there behind you. And you will listen to anything he says because you're afraid of what would happen if he wasn't there. This is things that you would say only because you're protected right now. But as soon as that protection is gone, and you're going to be vulnerable to everything that is going to be a repercussion of this, you're going to be afraid like every other person. Let that sink in. Let that become something that you are going to acknowledge. You're only safe right now because you have a president that is a moron, that doesn't think before he speaks. And you're okay with that because you're not going to feel that later on. By the time all this comes back, you would be dead from old age or anything else. I'm not wishing death on people because I'm not that kind of person. And I don't wish harm for anybody who has a negative opinion. But I want you to understand that becoming this kind of person does not make you great. It does not make you better than anybody else. In fact, it makes you the lowest kind of person. A person who doesn't have sympathy. A person who does not care about who they are helping or who they care for. You're thinking about yourselves. You're thinking of the small things. And that needs to change. And I'm not sitting here acting like Democrats are also as good. There are no perfect people. Let's be honest. Everybody has their flaws. But at least Democrats are not flaunting it around as if it's their new wedding ring. Get it in your head that this is not okay. Do I have to say it 30 times straight, or should you be able to figure that out yourselves? This is not an okay thing to be doing. And the fact that you congratulate this makes it harder for people to even sympathize with you. You wonder why you have enemies when you think that you're right? It's because you're the bad guy. You're not the good guy. You have never been the good guy. If some people tell you you're a horrible person your whole life, doesn't mean you're a good guy. So understand, this tweet, this few words, changes a lot and shows a lot. And the fact that you approve of it shows how dead you are to the society that you're trying to build. What is this society based on? What is everything that we have worked on based on right here? This is a melting pot of cultures. Melting pot? Did I say melting pot?
Yeah, I mean that's a term. I learned that in U.S. government.
We're just a conglomeration of different cultures to the point where the mixture of culture is our culture. We are all these different cultures because this is what makes Americans Americans. And you know what makes America great again? Coming together to go for a positive outlook on life. You do not separate life to become unified. That makes no sense. You want people to get along and see your same viewpoints to make a better world? Then do it yourselves. Be a better person. Don't go around flaunting bigoted words and act like that's okay. It's not. It's the worst. Give a freaking care for other people and how their lives are different from yours. You may be comfy in your life that you grew up with, not fearing death, not fearing starving to death, or anything like that. You don't understand. And if you do, you wouldn't be this way. You got to listen to the people who actually suffered and not the people who think they're suffering. That's insulting. That is demeaning. That is everything where it feels like you don't even care. If you want to win it genuinely. Don't act like this is a victory. This is not a victory, and it's actually the opposite. You're going to lose all these people who can support you, and the only reason why you got an approval rating is because the people don't get it. They don't understand these problems, and it's a problem in itself. Okay, I think I'm done. I want to get too angry if I keep on going.
Spill that tea. I'm sorry I got you all riled up about that.
This is why we don't talk about politics.
Yeah.
It makes me angry because a lot of people are stupid.
Yeah. I don't want to get you riled up again, but there's another thing that happened. Trump had a rally in North Carolina or something. I forget where it was, but he was talking about one of the people in his tweet, one of the congresswomen she was an immigrant that came to America and is now a citizen, like when she turned 16 or something. He was talking about her and all these things, these corrupt things that she said, and how she doesn't like America and all that shit. Sorry, I said the poop word. I'm sorry. Anyway, he was talking about all that, and the audience behind him, they start chanting, "Send her back, send her back." And in an interview later, Trump was like, "I tried to stop them. I let it go. I didn't let it go on for very long. I tried to stop them and tried talking over them." He waited 10 whole seconds while they were chanting, "Send her back," and the crowd actually started dying down and stopped saying it before he actually said anything.
People really do need to understand that once you're an American citizen, that is your culture. That is your life. And you don't just simply go back. You don't simply leave a country that you dedicated yourself to. Whether good or bad, these people have never suffered that kind of problem. They have never left their country for another one to live a better life, to actually survive. If they had the same situation, would it be fair for every other person who is American to be able to go up to them and say, go back home, go back to where you belong? It doesn't work like that. It never worked like that. And I get it. I, I'm Hispanic. My family, we originate from different parts of the countries. Okay, I have family from Spain. I have family from maybe New Mexico and Mexico. I say New Mexico, but that's where they were born. They have their families from Mexico, maybe, but I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is because we have a very separated family history. We have family members who were abandoned at birth, family members who died before they even were registered as Americans. We don't just simply come here because we want to be here. We came here because we wanted to actually have a purpose and a reason to live. Telling us to go back, telling anybody of color, of race, of origin to go back, that is the exact opposite of living. That's condemning them to death. They don't know that country. And even if they did come from there at the age of 16, they don't actually have memories of it. It's not as simple as going back. They would have to become a citizen there once again. They would have to do everything they've already done, but again, because they are not from that country anymore. They are American. And if you can't respect someone from your own country, then who do you respect? That's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. I hate to ask, but do you want to talk about anything else? Do you want to leave it off on a happy note?
Not really. I think this needs to be a very firm discussion about this. Going off on a happy note may lose the charm of what I just spout into a microphone.
You're right.
The only thing I can say is if you do support Trump, don't support his bad demeanor. Support his actual good ideas, but don't support his racist ideals. You're going to lose so much respect from people the more and more you start talking nonsense. Just because it is your opinion doesn't mean it's good. Understand that. Understand that opinions don't equal. I don't know. What would it even
Opinions
equal?
aren't facts.
Well, that's true. Opinions don't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Opinions means that you have a certain viewpoint and you want to express it. Keep it at that. Just because you believe someone shouldn't be in America doesn't mean it's right to go around telling them to get out of America. Keep it to yourself or lose that ideal. There is no need for it right now. Maybe back in, I don't know, the 1800s that was acceptable, but this is not the 1800s. This is 2019 and you need to grow up. And this is coming from a 25-year-old watching people get so riled up by telling someone to go back to a country that they don't even live in anymore. Back to a country that they escaped from, in fact. You might not think the word escape fits here, but you don't just leave a country because you want to leave a country. You leave a country because you don't like the way it's being run. I'm sorry.
You need some tea to spill and also drink. Okay. Are we done here?
I'm about done. Yeah.
Okay. I don't really have anything else to say. This was mostly Jesus ranting about politics for 20 minutes, and I just popped in for a second.
Yeah, about 20-25 minutes.
But still, this is probably the only time we're gonna do this unless like something else pops up that we're like really want to talk about. But
I gotta say another thing. If you're gonna express your opinion inside the comment section,
please be respectful.
Yeah, please be respectful and understand that there's multiple viewpoints, and that I do not hate Republicans. I do not hate them, and there's a lot of I have friends who are Republican, people who I cherish in life, and I have very few people I cherish in life. I understand the viewpoints, but I do not understand the hatred. Uh, and that goes for the same thing for Democrats. I do not hate Democrats, but they're not perfect either. There are a lot of flaws, and they need to acknowledge that along with Republicans. You have a shit ton of flaws. You have a lot of things that you need to work on that are obviously very bad. Now, I think that's all about what we have for right now. It was a simple podcast. It's going to be a short one from our perspective because this is actually about 30 minutes length.
Yeah, time flies when you're ranting.
And yes, I may not have a very structured argument, and it's not 100% perfect. But what I'm saying into the mic is not from a script. It's not from planning. This was on the spot talking about how I honestly think. And I think being racist at this age should be reduced to only jokes. If you want to make a racist joke, that's understandable, but you got to understand that not everybody likes it. Choose the people who you want to do that with. If it's a joke, it's a joke. But when you go on stage and you rile people up, and it gets to that point where they are wishing other people to be sent back to a place they don't belong anymore, that's no longer a joke. That's that's just downright evil. Get that in your head, and we're done here.
Yeah. We'll see you next time on the Double Sparkles podcast. Thank you for watching or listening. Goodbye.